I'm Edie Lush, and I'm here in the Hub Pavilion in Davos. Very pleased to be joined by Malcolm Frank. He's the Senior Vice President for Cognizant. Now tell me why you're in Davos.
We're in Davos for a lot of reasons. Obviously, it's fantastic to be at the pulse of everything that's going on with leaders in business and in governments. But specifically, we think that we're at a shift point with the corporate environment and with economies worldwide around building the future of work. And so what's happening with social media, what's happening with changes in demographics with the millennial population, and globalization. And we think that those forces are coming together where we're really at a historic shift point, and it's very useful for us to have these one-on-one conversations to hear how some of our clients and some leaders are really trying to deal with that.
So if you're looking at somebody who's entering the workforce now, very different from a few years ago.
Yes.
So tell me about what that typical worker looks like.
Well, that typical worker has a completely different expectation of what the organization is going to provide. They won't stand for the rigid hierarchy that we've seen over the past several decades. They expect a certain openness, a certain transparency, and a lot of this is fueled by technology. It's interesting. We've seen surveys where you look at the greatest generation would define themselves as survivors. That was the number one issue, whether it was coming out of the Depression or coming out of World War II. In the boomer generation, it was all about success. It was a success orientation. When you look at the number one criteria of millennials, they view themselves as technology experts. And it's not just understanding the bits and the bytes, but how that really is changing the way organizations behave. And so they have a completely different expectation of the technology when they get to work and a completely different expectation of what their relationship is with the firm.
It's interesting because on the one hand, from a sort of old school point of view, you could say, well, actually, you just need to pick up your, strap up your boots and get to work and just do it like we all did it.
Right.
But is that the wrong attitude?
It's right and wrong. So there's no substitute for hard work and diligence, and I think that will always be true. But you said something really interesting. You said when they go to work, and so it's interesting. My generation and others, we thought of work as a place. You went there. When you look at millennials, they live in virtual places, and so work is an activity. It could be done anywhere. It could be done at the office, it could be done at home, it could be done in a third place, it could be done 24/7. And so there's really this different perspective. Previously, I think we all lived, if you will, a fried egg existence, where work was that yellow middle, very well defined, and then our personal lives were the white portions around it. And yeah, our personal life surrounded work, but there was a really strong distinction between the two. Millennials live omelet life. Everything is mixed up.
I was wondering if you're going to go for scrambled egg or omelet at that point.
It may be a bit scrambled,
and
it may feel that way. But no, it's the point being is that they are very mixed, and so it's another important issue of I expect to work hard and I want to strive and I want to achieve, but it needs to fit with the rest of my life. And organizations that don't enable that and allow that, quite frankly, can't attract the best talent.
So, if we're living this omelet experience, what are some of the things that your clients are doing to change the way that they have a work-life practice?
From a technical perspective, there's a very simple issue. When we talk about these millennials or even older folks, their Sunday night computing experience is vastly superior to their Monday morning experience. And so on their at-home experience, it could be with smartphones, obviously the explosion of mobility, what's happening with social computing like Facebook and Twitter, what's happening with YouTube, and it's just become very engaging, very enriching, and it's made their lives better. And you can see all the data. They're voting with their feet, they're voting with their wallets. It's an exciting time. They get to work on Monday, and they stare into the bowels of these enterprise systems that aren't interactive, that don't really give them true insider information. They stare at their telephone on their desk that its mobility extends about 4 feet, the length of the cord. And this dissonance is very jarring. And so our clients are saying that we need to get our computing and communications experience on Monday morning to look like the consumer experience on Sunday night. And that's a big, big issue. So that's number one. Number two, that's going to change the organization. What we have seen is most organizations have structured their knowledge work which is where most firms now make their money, around designing new products, around building and distributing products. It's knowledge work, and yet that's been structured the way we structured a factory floor, because we didn't know any better.
Right.
So everything is command and control around what is really needed in industrial work, but now knowledge work with these tools and technologies, the organization can be transformed. It can really become better, faster, cheaper.
Sorry, I interrupted there.
Oh, no, not at all. So we just see that connection. That's why we think this is an exciting and important time, where this new technology can really allow new organizational models, which are the way that people truly want to work now.
Malcolm, thanks very much for coming into the Hub Pavilion to talk me through the omelet life. Getting hungry now. I'm Edie Lush. I've been here with Malcolm from Cognizant, and we're here at the Hub Pavilion in Davos.